Hello guys, and monthly is going to be first. You voted. This doesn't mean that twin flames are not coming up. They are coming up very next week. So let's kind of go with general messages, and actually from what I see there will be twin flames over here as well. First of all, my promotion, speed up promotion, is still on. I'm struggling to catch up, especially this weekend. I was like lying down in bed and relaxing and more or less recovering from a kind of like stomach bug kind of thing, but it is still on. So that means within 7 days you get it now instead of 3 weeks if you order regular. If you order a rush, you get it within 3 days, and if you order urgent, 24 hours. And that's it. Let's start with this. It was interesting. I was shuffling cards and I was thinking, which kind of card decks do I kind of like pick? These are general messages for all the signs for this kind of like transition of Leo. So this is basically almost until the end of August, and very similar messages I'm getting here around and around. There's like this Nautilus, right? Fibonacci, if you really wish. And then from this deck I got the Burden. Look at that. It's kind of like interesting card. Actually, probably I should put this on autofocus so you can see it better. Look at that. It's saddled with a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, you need to do that, and even the rooster on top of the head. So just kind of like being bombarded with things that maybe we shouldn't be doing. So 6, and then another 6. Talking about a time passage, and this makes so much sense. We are entering Mercury retrograde, and of course it's going to be some kind of possibly memory lane. It might be somebody showing up. And then we have, this is law of attraction, the law of attraction. There is like this universal feeling of belonging. So 3 6s are not the devil's sign. 3 6s are twin flames, soulmates. Something will be really cutting through over here. Now, this is also a very interesting card. It's like talking about, you know, there is like that spiral in there, and it's the quality of events when a lesson, it's not really quite integrated. You know, cycles that we kind of like really are challenged to break. We need to revisit a pattern from a new perspective. So when we get this card, it's kind of like a reminder that although maybe sometimes it appears that we are going backward, as oh my gosh, I'm never going to catch up with these bills or stuff like that, the truth is that you are now standing at a higher ground. You know how we've been through elementary school, we kind of like learn certain things in biology, history, right, whatever. Then you get to high school, you're learning the same thing, but much more. You're seeing it from a different kind of like perspective. So this is kind of like telling me that you will be we will be looking at our circumstances and learn something. And we now, with this Mercury retrograde, will be pulling something from the past, something that maybe burdened us, something that kind of like the time is up, sort of a thing, right? If it is a twin flame, then we need to really look at it and say, hey, wait a minute, this is all awesome, but it doesn't work for my life, or it does work in my life, and I will continue with that, right? So no more how did I get here again kind of a thing, right? It's, if this is like something that sounds familiar to you in your dynamics with others, it really kind of like maybe, you know, you're realizing that you're repeating an old story with the same sort of a person. You know what I say, you know, maybe they're attracted to you because of kind of like your easy acquaintance, and you kind of like can wrap around their own qualities. But this is also kind of like telling me, meaning the person, this is kind of like typical with twin flames. Twin flame is more or less an energy not of a person but of a soul, and I think it energy kind of can jump from a person to a different person. So meeting the same person in a different bodies can be the case over here. And like you're saying, oh my gosh, you know, I feel that it's a lots of self-blame for some people. How did I get here? How do I get out? And I kind of like it, because when we get bothered with something, which obviously here we are kind of like really bothering, then we are actually able to change it. There's like definitely echo of the past that is happening over here. Like, and we can see it here, this passage of time. But look at this, like this shoulds and shouldn'ts. And who is imposing on you stuff? And if you're doing something and you don't really like it, or that it has no function, then why are you doing it? It's kind of like time to really do it, because you can always go faster, you can always try harder, you can always reach the top. Hey, how about, you know, stopping that rat race, stopping that struggle kind of a thing? Because it tells me, and that was like me over the weekend, hey, you really will not have the energy if you keep doing that, right? Chances are, like, I mean, that this kind of like issues, hi Sophie, see she's leaving her little prints over here. Chances are that like maybe lots of things that you feel that you should do are really in your mind. It doesn't mean that they have to weigh you down, right? So it's really time to lighten up over there. It's really time to kind of like really figure out what is the burden in your life. Because you know what they say, you keep repeating the same things over and over and over, you're not really going to get different results. You know, something will really need to change. So I really think it's going to be lots of internal work, lots of stuff that is again coming to the fore. But in a good way, because it's going to get resolved with kind of like this telling me this like law of attraction is working. It is attracting emotions, persons, situations. So thinking positive thoughts and telling yourself, you know what, I always done this, let me kind of like try to do things kind of like differently this time around. This actually will work this time. So shifting the patterns, shifting the perceptions, not really jumping on, you know, issues or words that people tell you, kind of like doing things differently will actually really be effective at this time. So let's go into individual taroscopes. And I also want to just give happy birthday to Leos and toward the end of the month Virgos. So Virgos are already kind of getting ready, and Leos are going to have an awesome time. So let's start. Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your August monthly. Next week the twin flames are coming. So before I start, for those of you who are Scorpios or who are cross-watching Scorpios, this is general reading, and so you can maybe get tidbits of information. So make sure you also check your moon sign, you check your ascendant. I also check my Venus, and if I'm looking for somebody else, Mars sign. So, but I'm a little bit kind of like tarot crazy, so just saying. So let's start, Scorpios. On the bottom of the deck you have honeymoon, wedding, and King of Pentacles, which is to me the marrying kind, man or woman. It's kind of like the Taurus energy. So this is kind of like the opposite sign of yours. So now, interestingly enough, honeymoon, while it kind of means going in this direction, to me honeymoon is not necessarily a very positive card, because it really tells me about looking at things sort of a little bit too cheesy, too much through rose-colored glasses kind of a thing. And so basically, maybe it's just simply saying in order to go into something serious, you really need to You see the moon is like usually the shadows. You need to kind of resolve the shadows, because then later you can fall flat on your face, and that kind of like really wouldn't be good or even great, right? So you will really have to kind of like make a choice what you want to do, or maybe it is about someone, because it says the situation involves marriage. It is going to be really interesting to see what we come up with. This was the card that kind of like fell out as I was shuffling, so we are going to see really, like, I mean, I was connecting with somebody, someone of you out there, that energy. So let's kind of like start. Let's start with these guys first. Romantic feelings, children, and I'll be telling you the names of my cat cards because not everybody is familiar with it. But also, guys, look into what you see in the picture, because sometimes, not sometimes, you know, there is that expression, picture says 1,000 words. That's important to see. So let's see what we have here. So that wedding card is coming out here, and then you got an engagement. Okay, and that's your card here as well, something with children. So we'll see. It's kind of interesting. Well, there is a karma card. You know, I don't know which one you are, third or fourth this month, and I am already starting to see the theme is emerging for this month, and the theme is basically resolving our karmic debt, and looks like many of us are approaching it in a different way. So let's see what you have in the past. You have this card, retreat, and this card is also retreat, and as you can see, it's kind of like balancing is over you. Whether or not you just came from some kind of holiday, which was supposed to be something kind of like a family event, but it kind of like left you wondering of some kind of level, because you see, this is not necessarily this like 10 of cups, kind of like, hey, family, somebody proposed to me, that kind of stuff. This is more or less, how do I fit in this picture? How do I fit with his or her parents and family? Do they have the same values? How would I feel? I'm going to spend significant amount of time with that family. Should I kind of like proceed in this direction? So this is kind of like really actually complex card, which kind of like doesn't make sense to go in a reading, but it does tell me that you guys are shifting some foundations. And it's kind of like really, really interesting that we got Taurus here, because mind you, just make sure you check your annual Taroscopes if you haven't already. It's in the bottom in the description. I listed all of them, so you don't have to dig through my channel, making it simple for you guys. So for that, I hope I deserve thumbs up. So this is more or less talking about layers, and in this annual horoscope you're going to find that Taurus and Scorpio are sort of like the most on a trajectory of getting married. So maybe some of you are saying, wait a minute, this is like half of the year is gone. Am I on target? Am I not on target? Sort of like you're readjusting your path, and of course it's not really how it happens, but especially if you're already involved in a relationship, kind of like wondering if this relationship is the one, should it go, what should happen, what should not happen. It's going to be, looks like that kind of month where, you know, you're going to kind of look things from all the different sides. And I keep thinking you guys really want kind of like this marriage. It's not just like that you want a relationship. You know, you're putting your marriage cap on, and that's it. Like, I mean, when you guys have that intensity, you will be attracting things. So let's see what else is happening. So that was this retreat from the past. Over here, I'm cutting something off. The Queen of Swords is like minimizing something or minimizing problems, or there were like somebody having family issues that kind of like came to an end. Maybe somebody walked away, or it was the end of retreat, but this is not necessarily kind of like walking away from something nice. This is more or less, so this is 8 of Cups, describing us having that perpetual human curiosity where, look, we have like these 8 cups. Lovely, right? Look at this. We have the warm home. Guess what is cooking? Hot milk, right? So there is like the heat and everything is there. But Kitty's saying, oh my gosh, the moon outside, what can I find? It's like that perpetual curiosity that we have as people. We always want to see if there is like something else, if there is something better. Maybe you're questioning some choices that you had. Maybe this simply meant you took some time for yourself, or you and a partner, and kind of like, you know, final troubleshooting. Are we together? Are we for each other? Or, you know, what is it I really want? Am I really looking for a partner in the right place? Am I expecting too much? Am I expecting too little? And it's kind of like really interesting. So I don't know, like it could be for the some of you that it was simply kind of like walk away situation, because now I'm seeing this moon and moon. It could be discomfort or not really sure about the things, how they are, why they are. So we're going to explore this. Now guys, you better screw your head straight. Finances and career, financial issues are affecting. So Ace of Cups reversing, you might be missing some kind of opportunity. Maybe you have been sidetracked with something in your personal life. So this worries me, I do have to tell you, because if you're on a trajectory with this King of Pentacles, whether man or woman, that person will want to know that you actually can handle yourself, because that person is willing to give you everything, given that they know that you're not going to overspend, that yeah, sure, you have to treat yourself, but not every day, 10 times a day, kind of a thing, right? There is the moon again, and there is the moon again. There is like complete disorientation when it comes to your work. And really, 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 Scorpio, snap it out. I know you know that I generally have the relationship reading because that's majority of the people that they want, but here I definitely see could be children issue, could be some new trajectory. It's going to get to some kind of clarity, I think, and not necessarily clarity that you're going to share with others, because Moon and High Priestess, when they combine together, this is definitely very moony kind of like thing, right? Moon is much better when it's reversed, especially when it comes to relationship, and especially when it comes to, even more so when it comes to work, because this way we are barking at the moon, we are just simply crazy. Lunacy is, Luna means moon, kind of like it makes you believe in the stuff that's not there, right? This is like, I see deer and it was a park bench and stuff like that, because your mind is trying to shift those shadows. This is how people created horoscope signs in the first place. They watch the stars and, well, this looks like, you know, looks like the Scorpions is going to be Scorpio, right? This is partially, but this was also partial to what was happening at that time around them, that they seen it, so they were kind of like connecting it to things around. So that's why tarot and astrology seem to kind of like connect together. But you see, the moon, the path is actually going this way, and everybody is like sidetracked. It's only this little kind of crab that is actually doing proper job. Hey, I'm on my way, I want to go there. Which kind of like, frankly, can also look like a mini scorpion, even though it's probably a lobster. So look at the kitty. Nope, you're not going anywhere. Fishy fishy kind of a thing. And the dog is barking. The kitty is kind of like trying to see what is there, why is he barking, who is he barking at. So you can see I'm trying to describe basically in a silly way to make it more silly, that it could be some kind of like silly situation that you're going to get bogged down with it, whether it is at work or at home, but it can affect your work, it can affect your finances, it can affect something long term. So make sure that you're sort of like clear on what you want. So to boot that whole process, here we have romantic feelings and a Hierophant again, which is sort of like wedding card again all over, and then children, and then this is you. So now this is where it kind of like gets interesting, I think. You see, romantic feelings, I don't think I have to explain this. We kind of like, I think, all have maybe different ways we want a romance, but we generally probably have the same feeling as a result of that. So now this is here coupled for you with two major arcanas, the Hierophant and the Judgment. And the Judgment is a Scorpionic card, and guess what, this is again the Taurus kind of like leading card, Taurus kind of like flavor. So they are like two opposites in your side. So I really think you're heading towards something big, for especially those of you who have a partner or have the issues with your partner or want a partner even, that you're kind of like completely clear that right now you just don't want to date. You don't want to friends with benefits kind of a thing. It is kind of time. It is time to get serious, guys. Maybe some of you have children, and these children will actually have a crucial importance in your decision-making process. And it says your love life is being affected by children. You will see me not reading all of the stuff because some of them is really kind of like Disney-like. And this children card can literally mean that something needs to be resolved, especially if some of you are dealing with child support and stuff like that. This also can mean inner child. It can mean kind of like connecting to what we truly feel and need. One thing is going out on a romantic dinner, another thing is connecting. So very two different things. So romantic feelings are nice, but they are not sustainable just on their own, right? You know, like you see these couples, they even finish conversations with I love you, and they speak every 5 minutes. So if gold is existing on every single corner and you can just like pick a nugget, it wouldn't have value. So this is like some really strong commitment, and it's like kind of commitment in front of the other people. So it is going to be a discussion about that, or you're going to be really thinking, whoa, oh my gosh, if you're going in this direction or not. Oh my gosh, you're really going to debate. You know, it looks like that how you will handle it. So if you're with somebody, you probably will be kind of like measuring this person in different kind of like dimensions. So how you're at home, are you helping with the household, how you're with the children, you know, are you good at your work, how are you behaving toward co-workers, you know, it's kind of like the whole entire 360. And here is the World card, and the World card is a really good card. It's saying karma accomplished. You guys had to resolve something from the past, something needed to be cut off. You kind of like really needed to work on yourself, and look at this light coming through that. I just noticed this beam of light. We just had storm for the past hour, so I paused the readings because it was really stormy. But this is, again, this would be you over here, and they're showing you as the fish in this deck. The World card has the bird, the fish, the rat, and the lizard. So that will be the fire, and it should be really Leo, and that will be, I guess, the Taurus, in this case the rat. Here would be you, and actually you guys are shown as fish. Scorpion is the lowest level of Scorpion. That's why you have the card Death, 13, the transformation. And because you are supposed to go from Scorpion to Fish to Eagle to Phoenix. So they're like those 4 levels of developments within the same sign. So it's really, really biggie. But sort of like this Taurus is repeating twice. So it's going to be or not to be, guys. Because look at this. Like, I mean, 7 of Pentacles is kind of like our... how grounded are we? It's for sure these are maybe our accomplishments, what we did so far, but it's kind of like wondering about the future, in which kind of like level are we going to go, right? And some sacrifices will need to be made, and here it kind of like feels that you're going to really measure if these sacrifices need to be made and for who they need to be made. Also, look at that, 21, 28, 33. This is master number, and 33 also adds to 6, which kind of like gives you the soulmate, because I have another 6 over here. But 33 is you're mastering your relationships. You're mastering the skill that there is also a combination of whole bunch of soft skills that need to kind of like apply. And it actually would make sense with this children, and then the judgment card here, but reversed. It's simply kind of like waking up to something. You know, the judgment card is like, okay, so let's clear this past, and there is like some kind of like past life relationship or something from before, something that whether you feel guilty or somebody should feel guilty about that, something that died down, it didn't work out, but maybe landed to be friendship, needs to kind of like clarify differently. Or there's like definitely that some person from the past, or this is that twin flame, karmic flame kind of a thing. It's going to be interesting to get your twin flame readings next week. And you're landing on this friendship, and look at this 3 and 3 and 3. You can see the end of one phase, beginning of a new phase, but 3 is also about motherhood. 3 is also about children, about creativity, about resolving kind of like blocks. 3 is about you making a choice instead of waiting for somebody else to choose you, because like 3 is like that goddess, really important goddess. And it really, this is like really more or less telling me that if you're a woman, you kind of have to make quality questions, not just like, hey, and then we were driving to the sunset, you know, forever kind of a thing. No, it's kind of like, look, are you picking up after yourself? Is your mother going to ring the door the first thing on Saturday morning? Is my mother-in-law going to tell me, you know, what I should do and when? Or are we the two of us together and creating our own life and kind of like that, creating our own energy in these things? So it's going to become more pragmatic. You're a water sign, so your energy in a sense is the lowest, but even though that energy moves this, or better to say slowest, right? Because water has this buoyancy, right? So it moves slower, but my gosh, it has this enormous pressure. And right, the deeper you go, the pressure goes higher. So you almost, because you're the deepest water, you sometimes almost appear like an air sign, given like that like forcefulness that you can do and ability to be agile and to survive in all kinds of like different circumstances. So it's going to be really important over here, because you're moving to that earth level. You're moving to, hey, this is what I want at my home, at my place, you know. And I think you probably have been dealing with those questions for quite a while, so this is not a new thing. And there I go, I said I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes, and I just like simply can't, and I apologize for this. So here there is this engagement. You actually might be even proposed to. Oh my gosh, might be proposed to. But again, don't be reckless. You have the Knight of Cups, your Queen of Pentacles, and the Hangman, but it's reversed. This is lovely. Somebody might come and say, hey, would you marry me? That kind of a thing. But this is telling me that is still not a good timing. The Hanged Man, right? So you had these energies over here already. It's usually about sacrifice, and it's kind of like in relationships, both people have to make the sacrifice, and you're making the sacrifice because, hey, it's really lovely to be single. And so why to jeopardize that beautiful singlehood? You don't have to negotiate the bathroom time. You don't have to negotiate if you're going to buy a pair of very expensive shoes. Nothing. So now all of a sudden that can be a huge paradigm shift in how you think. But if you focus on that and what am I losing, then you're not focusing on what you're gaining, which is, hey, 1 and 1 is making 3. The two of us can actually get so much more, and it's going to be so much fun, and having a family and this kind of like, you know, warmth. And that's kind of like sacrifice that two people make in order to make something that is so much greater. By the way, being able to sacrifice is a difference between winners and losers, and that's the only thing so far in psychology we have as something that can determine that. So if you have a child, teaching them delayed gratification is extremely important, because that habit can actually turn them into something rich and powerful and successful. So you want to kind of like chocolate now, or if I put this chocolate away and a month from now I can buy you something else. Okay, you start this with, do you want this hour, or you want this tomorrow, and then you go, do you want this day or in 7 days, and then you're going to this kind of like levels later. Because for example, studying and going to university, it's a sacrifice, right? You're not earning money and you're going through enormous pressure, much longer hours, but you know then your income will kind of jump higher, and so on and so forth. I'm sounding like a horrible mother right now. Oh my gosh, I'm turning into my mother, and she is a Scorpio. This is karma. So it says, express your love. It looks like it's going to be some kind of weird situation. Ooh, I was so right. It was like my gut feeling, because why after express your love you're going right to sleep? It could be some kind of rejection. It could be that there are too many things out on the stove and something needs to go. This is actually really, again, it's another 3 and a 3 and a 3 and a 3 that we had it. Like this 3 is really kind of like following you. But there is like something that is actually going to start moving forward, no matter what the answer is. Maybe the answer is actually going to be no. Some of you will feel rejected, or some of you might feel that you are kind of relegated to something unimportant, or it might be even that you're accused of juggling stuff, whether to relationships, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's juggling you. So this is going to be interesting, because it's going to be one of those, you know, difficult moments when you, hey, I love you, and then it's radio silence, and like, and kind of like it changes, it shifts this relationship. But guess what, guys? You have to do it. If you want to propose to someone, you have to do it. Otherwise, you have this kind of like mindset where you want to go. So if the other person doesn't want to go there, you need to find that out. I can talk to you because you are able to realize that you have to kind of like stay on your karmic tangent. Karma is really intricately connected to your sign. So, but I really don't think this is going to be permanent, to be honest. It might be a no, a negative answer, like right out of the gate, and you might actually pull away as a result of that. I kind of see that, and it could be certain things from the past resurfacing, so deal with them. It's saying like you have been dealing with things all along, and kind of like maybe you got bruised in the process. Look at this 9 of Wands kitty. She's like, good Lord, I just can't continue, but I will just one more time and see how I go. Maybe you're going to feel that some of you, this is kind of like I see 2 or 3 things here. Some of you are going to feel that no amount of stuff that you do, it's never kind of getting better. Otherwise are going to feel, oh, I keep trying and kind of like keep getting really bad results no matter what I try. It's not that like I'm spinning in the wheels. And some of you will feel really big disappointment about something that basically didn't work out. Look at that spilled milk kind of a thing, card, and things just like running in a ditch kind of a thing, something that looked very promising. But it's really telling you, look, instead of like doing that, why not to be lighthearted and just say, look, I have honored myself. I have flirted. I have said, so I'm seeing a proposal this month. I really am. Something serious. For those of you who are not in a relationship, what's going to really happen is that you're going to be swept off your feet so quickly. And again, warning, I see the warnings everywhere. Something is premature. But you really, because you see here, there is this Knight and Queen. They're really not a match. This is really cute. This is proposal, but somebody's ready to be mother, to be a go, and somebody you still want to date and kind of like be romantic. And that's why it's saying here, message, somebody doesn't want to sacrifice in that engagement. Somebody doesn't really want to go in that kind of configuration. But if this is what you want, because it looks to me you really want it, then why to stay with a partner and wait for them? You are fixed sign. Fixed signs are the one who are determining in this world. That's why all these kind of cards with the circular stuff are showing fixed signs, where I show you this fish, not to look for it. So you need to resolve this conclusion. It looks like confusion. It looks like it's all over the place. It is at your work, it is in your life, and yet you have a really clear idea where you want to head. So you have the future clear, you don't have the present clear, you don't have the past clear. So what you need to do, focus on the future, and I can see that you are actually raising your energy, and luck is going to be on your side. Look at this, healing family issues. There is like this, the wheel, this like big changes are happening, good way. This is again one of those cards that should have like these 4 edges, with you being in this corner over here. So 2 karma cards so far in this monthly reading, guys. You're resolving some kind of like major stuff. Oh boy, look at this. Karma is saying no matter what happens, whether you continued, like, I mean, riding in that sunset and kind of like saying yes, or continue being on your own, any solution is going to be good for you. This is like unbelievable. This is like a healing combination. It's some kind of like justice communication, and you're going to be feeling actually very happy, even though there's going to be some kind of dip, feeling really rejected. It kind of like feels that few things can happen, that either you are with somebody and you are going to propose to this person, or indicate very strongly this is where I want to go, and the person is going to say no, 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 and you will say, well, I am tremendously sorry to hear this, but then I really have to start and looking for my own happiness, because I still have to get over it, I do love you or something, right? And climb up for a little bit, and then the person might come back really, really, really with all the stuff. Yes, I want it. Yes, let's go long term, because this is also a long term thing, right? And actually probably this is the best scenario, because otherwise it can be cheesy. I can see things that are not resolved over here. I can see still some kind of karma at play over here. Too many things really on the plate, kind of a thing. So to be almost like better that, you know, if there is like not 2 things rolling at the same time in the same direction, and you're rolling faster, another person is saying no, no, I'm not there, say okay, I'm going here, right? But, and that's what you might do, and then this person is going to say, holy smoke, I'm going to lose him or her. And that's, you know, what they say, you kind of get it when you lose them, and might really kick in. And that's when kind of like finally somebody started to realize, look, you know, that's probably true, and there's like a need to kind of like pay attention to something. You have the 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups reversed, and then 6 of Pentacles reversed. This again goes back to, you know, the Hierophant card. It's again coming back to that Taurus. Something here, you have to go there. You have to pay attention to some kind of details. There is like some kind of imbalance over here. It is telling me give and take is in jeopardy, or could be in jeopardy if you're in a relationship, and you need to pay more attention to small little mini details. It's going to be very important. And I think also this is telling me you need to pay attention to yourself, because that's one of these karmic lessons. So don't we have now, so we have 6 and 6, and then we had this like 33 over here. So you are definitely getting that soulmate thing over here. Absolutely. There is like something really resolving in spite of you, I would say. Like destiny is moving you forward in spite of you, because you're like really feeling like, sorry to say, but like a loser. or why is this happening to me? But Scorpio will kick in and said, no, nobody kind of like beats me, nobody puts baby in a corner, kind of a thing. So where is this going? I mean, again, religious factors to me, again, can talk about marriage. It can also talk about rules, that we need to agree with certain things. So now I kind of like starting to get why this honeymoon was jumping out. It's telling me that you are not supposed to go in a direction where you idolize something, or when something is not completely discussed and spoken out, or where you still have some kind of healing to do, because this is kind of like really important decision, and again, that kind of like needs to go forward. And it's not about winning this person, it is about being with this person. So there is like this, I don't know, this is Sagittarian energy, maybe moving forward, but there is like another this kind of like exhaustion or failing to see what can be offered in a situation. So it can end up being an utter confusion, but you are definitely, trust me, you are actually moving forward. Like you will literally feel the whole month that you're going one step forward and 2 steps backward, but it's going to be the other way around. You'll be going 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. So you will be getting ahead, because the King of Pentacles is still there. There's still direction in which you're going and which you should go. So it's going to be a lots of positioning, and this Mercury retrograde especially is going to play on those of you who actually have somebody from the past, or somebody who needs to kind of like clarify their intentions for being in a relationship. After a certain period of time, it is a time to say, hey, where is this going? Because you really need to let people go if they are not rolling in the same direction with you. No amount of wishful thinking is going to heal this. So Scorpio, I did pull one more card for you, but before I tell you which one it was, you can get private reading from me. As I said, it's a general reading. You should check ascendant, you should check your moon sign, just to kind of connect with emotions, as well as if you're checking for somebody else. Venus and Mars are optional, but to get really private reading, really, this is really zooming into your energy. So check this out, and also the annual Taroscopes below. So the card you got was, conveniently, making a choice. Look at what the lovely card is, and actually that's why it is. You have to choose between you and between somebody else. So let me read this for you. You are required to come to a decision now. You are faced with a dilemma or a fork in the road and must make a conscious choice regarding the next right action. Whatever that choice is, you must take responsibility for it, yet you needn't be afraid. You might not have all the answers right now, because the way ahead can be known until you embarked and traveled a few steps. Remember, 2 steps forward, 1 back. Trust your intuition. Ask for a sign from Spirit, and you will be led to the right path. If you remain conscious and aware, your choice will be the right one at this time. Life is always about learning. Success lies in choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirit. So Scorpio, I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to be a hell of a month. It's going to be going forward, going backward. It's going to make you feel dizzy. It's going to make you feel tired. So you had this 4 over here. You had this retreat over here. You had, where was this, like last 4 over here. It's like, oh my God, it's like everybody leaves me alone. I would claim some time for yourself. I would claim that time so you can clarify your thoughts. You can focus on your work, and please get your head straight on this one, because there is like some kind of confusion going on there, and sometimes people can simply lower your position or even let go of you, even though I don't see that. But this is telling me that there is like some kind of long-term possibility that is not fulfilled because somebody is missing it. Don't be that someone, okay? Focus on what you want. Wedding, honeymoon, engagement, playing by the rules, true love, and it's coming your way. it is really coming your way. There are big changes happening. You're resolving your karma this month, my dear Scorpio. So have a lovely month, guys. Would love to hear your comments, because there's like so much happening here. So let's see what happens. And until the next time, you can get your tarot daily fix if you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. All the best. I love you.